Hello and welcome to another episode of What's Brenda Watching. We are looking at episode 9 of Married at First Sight, Nashville, season 16. It continues to be interesting. We see the couples going through a lot of different things this week, kind of digesting the advice that they got from Pastor Cal, and then going into having little housewarmings. So we're gonna get started and talk about these couples. And unfortunately, y'all, I gotta start with Mac and Dominique. And as you all know, I have my notes to the side, so just don't mind me as I'm looking this way to check my notes and make sure that I'm staying on topic and remembering all of the juicy things from this episode. So, first things first, Dom asked for a divorce, but that really wasn't shocking. We kind of knew based on how she was acting and based on the conversation that was what was going to happen. Pastor Cal talked about learning how to fight for your relationship, and honestly, I could definitely feel that and understand kind of how you have to be prepared to manage your own regrets when it comes to divorce and dissolving a relationship. So I think that Dom needs to take her decision seriously, and as she stands 10 toes down in her decision, begin to understand where she may have been at fault and where Mac was at fault. So that's just my side note for that. When Dominique started talking about, I'm so sorry. Girl, what you sorry for? You made the decision. Like, what are you? Stand 10 toes down on your decision. If you felt it, she talked about this in the after party, feeling it in her gut that this is what needed to happen, then she needs to, just go with it. And don't apologize. Just say, yo, we tried, and keep it moving. And then she was just crying, and I just felt like she didn't even give him a chance. So, and they were only invested, 2 weeks into this. So I'm kind of curious kind of where her emotions are coming from. Is it because she really thought that she would be matched better, or she was heartbroken? I don't know. So it's interesting. And then she met with her mom. And honestly, I really didn't need to see that. But at the same time, you can see her mom kind of like, are you sure you tried? I was really looking forward to meeting him. And this is what happens when you have your parent apply for the show for you. There's been a lot of back and forth on whether she was too young or not. And there's a lot of people who've gotten married at 22, 23, 24, 25 and have stayed in long-lasting relationships. But let's just think about the fact that this is a married at first sight situation, and her mom was the one that applied for her. Honestly, that was the first red flag. I talked about that before, that if your mom has to apply for a dating show for you at 25, then something is wrong. Like, it'd be one thing if you was 35 and your mom was like, look, girl, why don't you try a dating show? Then that's a little bit understanding, but you're 25, barely out of college, So I really just don't think that she was ready to be married. I don't think that she has a good understanding of what long-term marriages look like, because she keep talking about adventure. Girl, adventure is not going to be every day in a marriage. Sorry, it's just not. And then I also, I'll talk a little bit more about the party overall. That'll be at the end when we talk about the group stuff. But let's just talk about kind of after the party for them. So I don't understand why they went back to the apartment. I don't understand, what the point of that was. I guess it was for filming for them to have this conversation. It felt very staged. It felt very awkward, and we really didn't need that. And Dominique asked Mac to be her friend, and that was just strange to me because it's like, you don't even like the guy. Why are you trying to fill up air with wanting to be his friend? It just doesn't make sense to me. And when you came on here to get married, and you pretty much have said that you don't like him, so that was interesting. And in the after party, Dom kind of talked a little bit about the fact that she and Mac in private conversations talked about telling the group as a whole that, you know, they mutually came to this decision and Mac changed his mind. I don't know. But either way, it's still, I still don't absolve her of the blame of this marriage dissolving, you know? And she kind of thinks that Mac was playing a victim, which in some cases is probably true, but I think it's also true that you were creating a victim in him, right? So we'll talk a little bit more about the group outing, group party in a little bit, but let's go on to Jasmine and Aris. I thought it was cute in the beginning. They had a little montage, and Jasmine had Aris out there walking the dog with her. So it looks like the dog and Aris have made quick friends. Also, Aris is going to meet cousin Felina. Why does he have to report everything to her? I think that production is really entering into this too much and wanting us to have doubts about them. So they're allowing the cousin, like, oh, let's bring back the cousin. Do you want to talk to your cousin? And I just think that's messed up. And that's going to put more strain on his relationship. So I was actually kind of glad when she said she didn't want to come, because Jasmine didn't want her to be there at the party. And what else? The one thing I did appreciate was cousin was she said to go home and work on your relationship or just leave. And I think he should go home and work on his relationship. There's a lot of rumors online about them being kissing cousins, or are they really related? Are they kind of like the cousin that you say is your cousin is not really your cousin? And kind of saying that people think that his cousin is his type, and that's the problem. Like, they look completely different. So we'll see about that. And at the party, I really didn't care that we have to talk about the cousin when she's not there. She didn't come. Let's talk about something else. Are there other topics that we could chat about during this housewarming besides the cousin that didn't show up that doesn't like you? That was the only thing that I really didn't care for about their party. And then Jasmine brought up not having sex with his friends. That was kind of weird. I don't know that would have been like my first intro into how the relationship is going. And then Aris was talking to Jasmine's aunt and cousin, I believe. And they're having a good conversation, but just the way he was talking, it just didn't feel like he wants to do any work. Like he wants to try harder. It feels like he just wants stuff to come to him, when it's kind of like, if you want to see how this could go, then you should probably kiss the girl. You know what I mean? You should probably set the atmosphere, if I say so, you know? Light some candles, watch a movie, cuddle, something. So we'll see what happens with them. Also, his cousin's friends, Aris' friends, coming on there with matching hats. Do they have a brand they're trying to sell or something like that? They're only on the show like, Aris, yo, let me get on the show so I can put my brand out there. black people. But all right, that's Jasmine and Aries. Shaq and Kirsten. Y'all know I don't really have much to say about them most of the time because they don't give us much to talk about. They really don't give us much to talk about. I feel like producers, like I keep saying, feel like they're boring because we really don't get that much about them. But I saw Shaq fixing her car, like putting air in her tires or something like that. Thought that was cute. It's showing him being a little different than I thought. I kind of see him as a little bit of, suit and tie, buttoned up, and not really doing grunt work. I don't see him as somebody who gets dirty. So that was cool seeing him, being on the ground trying to fix her car. So I thought that was cool and that was cute. And I thought what they decided to do for their invite list was nice. They brought in married couples, so they each chose a married couple to come and have chats with, to pour into them. And I really thought that was smart because that shows that they're looking for wisdom from people who've already been married versus just people who might already be single, divorced, whatever the situation is. So I thought that was good. I thought it was cool. Here, Chris's cousin saying that she needs to let Shaq be the judge on whether he's a good kisser, whether she's a good kisser or not, because she keeps saying she's not a good kisser. And who is to say whether you are really not a good kisser or not? If you let him kiss you, I'm sure, y'all could teach each other. That's the first step. But for someone who says they're not attracted to him, she's always has her hands on him. She's always close to him. So I think she's probably more attracted to him than she's allowing herself to be. And then one of the things that they said, one of the couples said was, let the chemistry build through intention. And I said, oh, that's a good one. That's something to hold in your Rolodex for all of us who are, out here dating and meeting people and things like that, where you might not be completely attracted to somebody, but let it grow through intention. So I thought that was good. Keep that on your radar. So that was pretty much Shaq and Kirsten. Gina and Clint. I really like that Clinton's laid back. I think he's coming across very even on the show, and I love that. And they were